Hello, everyone. Frank Aller, your favorite contract corporate pilot, coming to you with yet another video about aviation. Today, we're going to discuss the topic of IFR clearances. But before I get started with that, I need you to please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. It'll remind you each and every time there's a new video. And please leave a comment. I hope you enjoy today's video on IFR clearances. First, let's talk about what an IFR clearance is. An IFR clearance allows a pilot to operate in controlled airspace when visual navigation is not possible, such as in the clouds, fog, or poor weather conditions. It ensures safe separation from other traffic and provides a structured route through airways, including assigned altitudes and waypoints, while complying with minimum IFR altitudes and equipment requirements. Keep in mind that you can file an IFR flight plan and fly it in visual conditions. It's just a lot safer to do it that way. In fact, it's almost the only way I do it. Now let's go over how you file an IFR flight plan and then receive it from air traffic control. Here are the basics on how you do it, what you need to do it, and when to do it. IFR en-route charts, SIDs, which are standard instrument departures, and STARs, which are standard terminal arrival routes, are used to plan your route. You can use government charts or charts produced by a company called Jeppesen. Personally, I prefer Jeppesen. Now, you can also use a website called flightplan.com or a program called 4Flight. I like both of those. First of all, let's talk about the mission. Is the aircraft you're going to be flying capable of doing the job? What I mean by that is, say you're flying out in the mountainous terrain where there are mountains up to 20,000 feet. Can your airplane fly over it? Does it have the endurance? Will you have to make multiple stops? Is the crew capable of flying into difficult airports, such as a mountainous region, if that's the case? Assuming your aircraft can meet the mission needs, and the crew can as well, now we need to make sure that it is in good mechanical operating condition and that things such as oxygen that we will need to fly at high altitudes is available. Now let's also keep in mind the fact that you may encounter ice on your flight. So make sure that your airplane is certified to fly in what's called known icing conditions. Make sure that all of your anti-icing and de-icing equipment is in perfect working condition. The difference between anti-icing and de-icing is anti-icing prevents ice from forming. De-icing removes the ice once it has formed. Now, another thing to consider is fuel. Will you have enough fuel to make it directly to the destination, or will you have to stop multiple times if needed to get extra fuel? Fuel planning is extremely critical. You must take into consideration the weather at the destination airport at the time you are planning to arrive. Now, when planning your fuel load, it's important to understand what the weather is at your destination airport. Apply the 1-2-3 rule for alternate airports. If 1 hour before and 1 hour after your estimated arrival time, the ceiling is below 2,000 feet or visibility is less than 3 miles, you must file an alternate airport. If your flight is going to require several stops for fuel, be mindful to try and pick airports that have the lowest fuel prices. Okay, so now let's move on to planning. Assuming you're using flightplan.com or 4Flight, once you put in the origin and destination airports, you will be given the option to either build your own flight plan or select one of the preferred routes. Typically, I will choose one of the preferred routes, since it is common that those routes were previously approved by air traffic control. And now it's time to pick up the clearance. But prior to doing that, it's important that you get the ATIS information. They'll want to know that you have that before they give you your clearance. At the larger airports, you would contact clearance delivery. Smaller airports usually give their clearances on the ground frequency. At uncontrolled airports, usually you can do it by phone. The phone number is usually available on the charts for the airport. Now, this is what your call to the air traffic controller in the tower giving you the clearance should sound like. Boca Ground, King Air 417 Lima Bravo. We have information whiskey, IFR clearance to Key West. And now you should be ready to use the CRAFT acronym. The C in CRAFT stands for clearance limit. The R is the route that you're going to use. The A is your initial altitude and altitude to be expected in 10 minutes after departure. The F is the departure frequency, and the T is the transponder code. And it will sound something like this. King Air 417 Lima Bravo, you are cleared to Key West via radar vectors Joshua. Then, as filed, climb, maintain 3000, expect 35010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 12345, squawk 4051. Now you would be expected to read it back exactly as you were told. Ground control would follow up by saying 417 Lima Bravo, read back, correct, advise ready to taxi. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video on IFR clearances. It was basic, it was simple, and easy to understand. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. It'll remind you each and every time there's a new video. And please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. For right now, your favorite contract corporate pilot, Frank Gallo, signing off.